This is One on One. We welcome Hans Van de Weerd, is Vice President, International Rescue Committee, U.S. Programs. Good to see you, Hans.
Thank you for having me.
By the way, happy birthday.
Thank you for that, too.
The public television family welcomes you and wish you a happy birthday. The organization, talk about what it does.
So the International Rescue Committee is an international aid agency, and we provide support to refugees, people that are suffering from conflict, disaster, all over the world and in the United States.
And our good friend and a board member here at Public Broadcasting, Josh Weston, told us about you and your organization. He said one of the most important things, and he's right about this, is that we have the responsibility to try to clarify some things about refugees in terms of the vetting process, what the facts are and what the misconceptions are. What are the facts when it comes to refugees and how they are vetted?
So the first fact that I want to share with you, Steve, is that there is no harder way to get into the United States than through the refugee resettlement program, other than perhaps swimming, the Atlantic Ocean. Refugees undergo very extensive security screenings that take, all in all, more than 1.5 years, where they're being vetted by multiple government agencies, including the State Department, intelligence agencies. So before a refugee gets here, so many people have actually, checked their stories and have made sure that they are who they say they are. So it's a big myth that we don't know who is coming to the United States. We know exactly who is coming to the United States.
Why do you think, Hans, that there's so much confusion about the borders being porous, about refugees just coming in and we can't have this, and the perception that everything you just said just couldn't be the case? It's not the case.
Well, I think, it's very important that we explain really what the facts are, because if people don't have that information, they don't know.
Where'd they get the idea, and you think that it's not the case?
I think there has been a lot of, factless, information being put out by people who are not necessarily in favor of foreigners coming to the United States, who use fear in order to move forward an agenda, a political agenda, and where it is always important to have people that you can blame for, economic distress, or where you can blame people for security risks. And I think in this case, it's been very easy to blame refugees, for problems that they have really nothing to do with. They are people like you and me that are fleeing violence and that just want a better future for their families.
You talk about refugees, and there are two young refugees I believe we're about to see in this clip that your organization videotaped, I believe, and they're talking about their experience, correct?
Yes.
And what they, in fact, contribute to this country. Let's take a look.
I'm a freshman at the University of Idaho in Moscow. I'm a pre-med with an emphasis in biology.
I am going to the University of Idaho. It's in Moscow, Idaho. I'm studying international studies and philosophy. And when I graduate, I'm planning on going to law school.
I'm here to give back to the community that accepted our family, and that's our only purpose.
All refugees have a story to tell, and if you just give them an opportunity to tell you that story, and that they're not who you think they are, they might just surprise you. That's how this country was founded, based on different ideologies, beliefs, and stuff like that. And that's what makes America different from other countries.
Two young men from Zambia. What do you see when you look at them?
I see men with dreams, with passions, with ideas about how they want to shape their future. I see people that are immensely grateful for the fact that they are here, that want to give back to this country, as so many other refugees have done before them. Yeah. Secretary Albright was a refugee. Sergey Brin, Albert Einstein, Sergey Brin, the founder of Google. But there are also hundreds and thousands of other refugees who have really contributed to this country.
Yeah, but let me play devil's advocate and ask you this. What about those who say they want to protect our borders and are concerned about people who would come into this country to do us harm, and that the proposed second ban, and we're doing this program in the spring of 2017, we don't know what's going to happen, the White House, the Trump travel ban that's been proposed, involves certain countries that the president believes, that those around him believe, that some others in this country believe, and because there are Americans who support a significant number, are looking to protect us, not from the people you just described, but from others who would do us harm. You say?
I agree with the fact that, say, this country needs to have very strong vetting mechanisms. I agree.
Extreme vetting, as the president says. You say?
I think the vetting at the moment is extremely strict and stringent, and I believe that's a good thing. I believe that this country should protect its borders. I believe this country is protecting its borders right now. Many administrations before this have worked on making this country a safe country. But I think we also have to find the right balance between security and compassion, and between, security and the values of our nation. And the facts, Steve, bear this out. Since 9/11, 800,000 refugees have arrived, and not a single one has been involved in any incidents. When refugees come to communities and cities, their economies start to grow. The value of properties increase. Crime goes down. There is a real positive impact of refugees into this country. And I think we should talk about these things much more.
But excuse me, respectfully, limited time we left. There are incidents when someone who does come into this country commits a crime, someone points to that and they say, see?
There will always be incidents, individuals that really, are deranged, disturbed people.
But the larger message is?
But we can't paint whole communities, whole religions, with the same brush and basically turn our back to the world. That's my message.
That's also not what this country is based on.
This is not what this country has been about.
Hans, I want to thank you and your colleagues at the International Rescue Committee, U.S. Programs, and our good friend Josh Weston for introducing us to you. Thank you so much. Keep up the good work.
One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation, celebrating over 25 years of broadcast excellence. This special edition of One-on-One with Steve Adubato is brought to you from the Tisch WNET studios at Lincoln Center. Funding has been provided by Rowan University, Josh S. Weston, Virtua, Partners for Health Foundation, Prudential Financial's Global Communications Department, TD Bank, and by Verizon. Transportation provided by Airbrook Limousine, serving the metropolitan New York, New Jersey area.